Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Will Obey, and today I am looking at some AC Comics Superbabes, and I'm kind of back and forth on this name. I kind of hate this name. It's bad enough to walk into a comic book store and ask for Femforce comics. Hey, do you have any Femforce comics? They look at you like, the heck is that? And then they look at you like, Femforce? That sounds, I don't know. It's just not the best name. So I love you, AC, but maybe you're not the best at naming your books. I will give you snaps though. Superbabes is the least woke comic book name I think I have ever heard. Ever. It's like, you know what? Nope. It's Superbabes. That's our team name. Excellent. So anyway, these are pretty hard to get a hold of. They're new. They're expensive. And they have limited print runs, so they're very hard to get your hands on. However, I was able to score 1 through 4 for less than cover price. I know I lucked out like crazy. And so yeah, I was just gonna kind of flip through these. These are full color. AC is doing fantastic things with the production of their books now. They are glossy, thick paper, beautifully done. They are really hard to find and get copies of though. And so, I mean, I don't know why you needed a second story, because everybody in the book seems to be Femforce members. You've got She-Cat, Terra, Miss Victory, Sin, and Stardust. So I don't know like who else is going to be in it. It looks like they just crashed a yacht. Oh yeah, we were missing Night Vale on that first one. Terra grows big. I know I look at a lot of these Femforce comics and it's like I comment on the art every time because I do think it's cool, and I do appreciate how it's. I mean, like, they haven't changed their recipe on making these books, it seems like, since 1985. They've changed the materials a lot. Better pages, better paper. A lot of them were black and white early on. I mean, some of them were color, but then they went through black and white phases for many years. At some points, they had full-size comics. You know, some of these are smaller. These are smaller than a regular comic book. Sometimes they went thick. I've got a bunch of Femforces that were like, you know, $10 cover price, but they were like 4 comic books thick. So stuff like that. But you can never knock the art. Like, the art is always tip top. And in these, I got to really give them props to the color work, because the color work on this newer stuff is so stinking vibrant. Like, that is really, really vibrant. Poppin' colors. They handily defeat the villains, and that seems a little suspicious. And we got Gargantua, has her own little story in the back. Of course, if you've seen many of my videos, you know she props up often, as do most of the Femforce cast, but Gargantua is particularly one of my faves, just because she's a gigantic, well, she's Femforce's version of, DC's Giganta. And this is Gargantua. Sorry, I sometimes mix those two up because the words look so similar, and they're both a large, growing giant woman. But DC Comics has Giganta. This has Gargantua. Do we get a back panel? Femforce 188 coming soon. So Femforce recently just passed their 200th issue, and props to them for that. We'll look at Superbabes number 2. I still can't, like, that name. Just, why did you call it Superbabes? That just seems like such a, I don't know. From what I would once call it cringy, I'm going to just go with the fact of appreciating it and calling it non-woke, and like it for that. I also like it when they use FF for their Femforce logos, because I feel like that's like a nice rip-off of the Fantastic Four. Except that I hate the Fantastic Four. This is another thing I appreciate. This is Night Vale. Night Vale's costume, design, look, everything. I mean, that is exactly what she looked like in '85. It's what she looked like even before then. And she was a throwback character from the way back. So I appreciate that. Actually, I don't think, other than Miss Victory's costume has gone through some updates, I don't think anyone else's has. Like, these are all the exact same uniforms and look that they would go with back then. Tara's swimsuit, two-piece thing that she wears, has changed slightly, but it's still always that weird green camouflage tiger stripe thing. Because, you know, she's their resident jungle girl. And I know her character goes way, way back. But I think Femforce and Superbabes and AC Comics in general kind of has this approach of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, you know, these outfits, those character designs, the plots, the stories, that stuff worked. Why change it? Just keep it. Because let's face it, not too many heroes are wearing boots like that anymore. But it doesn't matter. It works. Keep it. Why change it? Love the color work here. This guy looks like a Jerry Garcia type person. Almost sometimes feels like you've wandered into an Archie comic, but except for the fact that the colors are, I mean, insanely vibrant, like way, way vibrant. All yellow backgrounds. I dig that. I say outfits don't change, but sometimes hairstyles do. I'm pretty sure Stardust's hair has changed at least once. I know Miss Victory is the one whose outfit changes and fluctuates back and forth between the old and the new. But as a big fan of orange and yellow mixed together on the same uniform, I really love Stardust's uniform. It's very similar to Flair's sister, Sparkplug, has a yellow and orange uniform as well that I really appreciate. You got Women of Mystery, Golden Age heroines, and a lot of these characters are Golden Age stuff. But I have not seen any of these anywhere. I will keep looking for them because, you know, these things are hard to find, and I keep my eye out for them everywhere. I ask every comic book store I go into now, and you know, I have yet to hear anyone even who's heard of it. So. Got the NASA logo. You can tell this was a couple years ago because we got somebody wearing a mask. I don't think they ever draw any of the heroes with a mask on. There's Miss Victory's other outfit. I recognize this hairdo. Proxima. She's wearing a mask. It's clear. Silliness. Stardust. One of my first exposures to Femforce ever was a random issue of Femforce. I believe it was issue 66 or 67. And it featured Stardust on the cover, hanging upside down at the mercy of a villain, beaten by somebody. And I just remember that. And that's why I guess she's probably always been one of my more favorite characters right after Tara. Something about people who grow large. I always appreciate that. Like, I always think that looks good. Dun, dun, dun. And that looks like that's it. Superbabes number 5. Our heroes wear masks. And that's that. An odd assortment of books. I think of course I look for Femforce comics more. Superbabes to me is just kind of like a side project. I don't really lean heavily into them. But for the chance to get 4 of them in a row and get a taste of that series. Definitely was something I wasn't going to pass up. Is it a series I'm going to track and try and keep hold of? I won't sell them, but it's not probably something I'm going to track as heavily as I look for old back issues of Femforce. And I'm pretty set on those, except for like issue 1 to 100, solid. But issue 100 to 200, it's pretty sparse. I've got, 20, 30 issues between there, so I'm missing about 70 from my back issue catalog. But anyway, that's them. I cringe to say it. That's Superbabes. Superbabes. The most unwoke comic title I've ever heard. Anyway, as I've said, that's my story. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys later. Bye.